Hi and welcome to Cheekyricho's Beef Wellington. The ingredients will be in the recipe box below. Let's get started. To a high heated pan we're going to add some butter and place our aged, very lean, very thick pieces of rump steak in the pan. We're going to brown these all over, but we aren't going to cook them through. We're just going to sear them and season them with a little salt and pepper as we go. Once they've been browned all over, we're going to remove them from the pan and allow them to rest while we prepare the rest of the ingredients. These pieces of steak will be further cooked whilst they're in the pastry in the oven later on. No need to clean the pan. You'll be using those caramelised juices to flavour the fried onions and the mushrooms with a little bit of butter. And we need to cook these till we cook off most of the moisture. We don't want to be dried out and crispy, but we do want to get rid of as much moisture out of these mushrooms as possible so that they don't make the pastry soggy. We put a little bit of salt and pepper in as well, veggie salt and freshly cracked pepper. The salt will actually assist in drawing out some of the moisture from the mushrooms and the onions so it can evaporate. Just keep this moving quite consistently because you don't want it to catch and burn. Pinch off a couple of little pieces of parsley and just drop them in there for colour. Give them another little toss around and that's done. Now we get our pieces of meat and we get some hot English mustard and we just smear a little bit on the bottom. You'll hardly taste this, but it will give it a nice flavour. It's not too hot if you're not a mustard fan. Just smear it on the bottom of both pieces, then sit both of these pieces of meat onto the centre of your sheets of pastry. Top them with your mushroom and your onion mixture. Now we're going to top them with our little rings of liverwurst, or you could use pate. Now we have to make these beef Wellingtons into little parcels. It's a four-sided pyramid and we have to pinch the edges together. So bring the four corners to the top and then pinch the edges in a double seam along all four of the corners. You don't need to put a steam hole in this, and you don't have to do it really tight. There'll be plenty of room inside for the meat to move around as it cooks a little further and shrinks and makes its own way. We're going to bake this in a moderately hot oven for about 20 minutes or so until it's quite brown on top and quite crispy. You don't need to have gravy with this. There'll be actually juices contained inside this little pastry pyramid. Now we get a baking tray which has been lined with baked paper and we sit our little beef Wellington on top of that and get on to the second one. Same again, just fold those seams over and give them a good pinch. It's puff pastry, so it's going to change whilst it's being cooked anyway. Because the meat is quite warm, it's actually starting to cook the pastry, so you have to work quite quickly and be very delicate with it because it's likely to tear if you're not careful, and then all those juices that are at the present contained in there will get out. You don't want that. Now we get some sesame seeds, just raw sesame seeds. We sprinkle them over the top, and because this pastry is a little bit sticky, they will actually, you can press them into the surface. You don't have to worry about brushing this with egg wash or anything like that. It'll just do its thing in the oven. It'll come out, and I think you'll be impressed with what it looks like. I pop them both on the same tray. By the time this pastry is cooked, the meat will be cooked probably to a medium. And there it is out of the oven. It's been roasted at 200 degrees for about 15 or so minutes. The serving suggestion, I've served it with pine nut cabbage, steamed asparagus with hollandaise sauce, and spiced oven roasted kumara. Could of course serve it with a salad. I hope you've enjoyed this little cooking demonstration of beef Wellington. If you'd like to see more interesting recipes and ideas, just check out my Cheekyricho channel, and please leave a comment and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. And have a lovely day. Do come visit us again.